Welcome into our first episode of The Debate for this year. I'm Brett Lerner here with Nick Fortin and Erik Prado. We're going to change up the format a little bit. It's going to be a welcome back edition so that we can kind of recap what we missed over the summer. So we're going to have more of a friendly discussion for today, at least, instead of the back and forth debate.
Not really a back and forth debate with a moderator, more just, what did you guys think of the summer, the big sports happenings, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, well, I think obviously the first thing is the World Cup.
Oh, yeah, the World Cup was, the biggest thing of the summer.
Especially the United States going as far as they did, kind of changing international opinion of the national team. Mm-hmm. You had Tim Howard was amazing defense.
Oh, yeah.
You make it big when you have memes come from your players. So.
You make it big when the Secretary of, I think, Defense called him up and said, you can have my job.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, after that game against Belgium.
Yeah.
No, but just seeing how far the U.S. got and seeing basically the entire country get into it for soccer for the first time, honestly, ever. The U.S. has been marginally all right before, but there hasn't been that that drive to watch soccer, and yet you see in Chicago and L.A. and New York these giant viewing parties in the parks and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's just so cool to see that our country's
getting into it. Just for a quick side note, just how packed it was. Mm-hmm. So I watched the game against Belgium. I went to a bar to watch it.
Gotcha.
And this bar. Literally, I was with a friend of mine. He had to text his other friend who had been there since 9 in the morning to get a seat at the bar. That friend had to come out with security, point to me and my friends, say those two. We went in through a back door to get into this bar because the line was down the block. That's how crowded it was for USA versus Belgium.
Oh, yes. Awesome, that's because for the first time we were good.
Yeah,
which is great.
So it seems we kind of all agree here that the World Cup, because of the U.S. influence, was probably the biggest story of the summer.
Yeah.
What was kind of next on your guys' list, or at least what else was big for you this summer?
Well, for me, it was before the World Cup was the NHL playoffs.
Another big thing.
That whole April-May stretch and then the Blackhawks stretch was just crazy, unbelievable. You had the Game 7, Hawks and Kings. As you can tell, I got my shirt up. I don't know for the Hawks.
Big old Hawks fan.
It didn't go as well for the Hawks, but just watching the Kings and then just go on to win the Cup when they were one game away from elimination in the first round, that was definitely exciting. I think NHL is starting to gain popularity.
Watching hockey, like you said, gain popularity, and then I guess just kind of snowballing off of that, Kane and Taves. My next thing would be Kane and Taves signing big contracts in the offseason. I think that was NHL playoffs ended in May, and I think June or July.
Yeah,
they signed their gigantic contracts. I loved the way that Patrick Sharp immortalized it on Twitter with just, I think he said, Taves, congrats to Captain Sirius on signing his contract. I wonder if he smiled yet.
Yeah.
So basically the fact that, the Blackhawks, as we are both gigantic Blackhawks fans, I think we all three are, signed the two, their two young stud players.
Yeah, it's going to be good times.
It's going to be great times for a long time.
Yeah. The fact that we led with soccer and then hockey kind of shows that there was some pretty interesting stuff this summer and different stuff too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But to get back to some of the more mainstream stuff, I think one thing we kind of are obligated to mention here is LeBron James heading back to Cleveland. He kind of stole the show. Just the fact that one guy can have such an impact on the media in the city was pretty crazy.
Honestly, I'm happy for LeBron. I liked the way that he came out
and
said.
That was great.
The essay was really, really good, although I don't think he wrote it.
No, I don't think he wrote it either.
It was way more eloquent than LeBron has ever been. But LeBron is an eloquent person, so maybe he definitely had some.
It's crazy to think that this one player
can turn the entire world
have the whole sports
out.
world, literally Twitter every day.
He stole the show. It was
every day. It was sources say,
he's staying in Miami. Phoenix could get him. This, that.
Well, but we were all paying attention because that's how crazy it was.
I liked his reasoning. I just like the fact that he's going home. He wants to raise his kids where he grew up, and that's honestly, I can respect that. I've never liked LeBron, but I can respect that. And you guys are right; it was a gigantic story. But sticking with basketball, honestly, from a hometown perspective, my third biggest thing of the summer was just seeing Derrick Rose healthy in exhibition games for USA Basketball. Even if he's not in the Bulls jersey, to see him playing at the United Center and playing relatively well, crossing people over, dunking like his old days. The athleticism is there, like you said before when we were just talking about it. He's not looking as sharp as we'd like to see, but honestly, just seeing him out there is such a big relief for me.
Oh, then staying with the hometown in Chicago, Jackie Robinson West. It was late summer.
Yeah.
Their Little League World Series run. Obviously, they lost in the championship to Japan.
Korea. I think to Korea.
Yeah. But still, even though they lost, like the way the city and United States as a whole just kind of embraced this team was just something that was crazy. And
they just made over $160,000 in sales just off of T-shirts.
Wow.
I know the Cubs are.
Oh yeah, that's great. The Cubs had them there, and they were wearing like Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, and it showed. I mean. And also too, you had Jackie Robinson West, but the Little League World Series in general too, because you had
Monet Davis.
She's gonna be going places too.
Oh yeah, she will.
So just it's showing this. It's revitalizing baseball, I think, for the youth, and that's hopefully.
The stat they put out there with Monet Davis with her hometown Little League team, I think their team tripled in size in the last 3 years, like their Little League, which is so cool to hear because all you hear now is baseball's dying and baseball's this and baseball's that. But to see that the kids are getting into it again is amazing because I love watching baseball and I want it to continue to be America's pastime.
Yeah, definitely. You have, I think, your one final thing.
Anything?
I think LeBron was my biggest story. I think we had to get that in there. It was a super interesting summer. I know we could keep going for a long time, but I think that's going to wrap it up for today's special edition episode of The Debate for Eric and Nick. I'm Brett. Make sure you stay tuned for more episodes coming in the near future. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitter at @DI_sports to keep an eye out for those videos.